Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So back when I used to be in a coma and my brain was pretty much dead, aka when I was on the left, I used to drink the Kool-Aid. I used to drink all of the Kool-Aid. I'm talking about gulps and gulps and gulps of the leftist Kool-Aid. And sometimes I think back to the things that I used to agree with or co-sign and I'm shocked. I'm like, really? Really? But that was me back then. And one of the things that I definitely was co-signing back then was the hatred for Donald Trump. That's number one. And also the famous Access Hollywood tape. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So in this video, I want to talk about how my mindset and my perspective has completely changed since I've been red-pilled, and why I can't believe how stupid I was when I was co-signing the leftist narrative of the actual situation and what Trump was actually trying to say in that video. So without further ado, let's get into the meat of this topic. So I think once your mind starts to reshape and you start to rethink a lot of things, you start to go back in time and you start questioning everything, right? You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought about this, or I had this perspective, or did I really say that? And unfortunately, yeah, I did. So one of the things, of course, that I co-signed was, of course, the whole narrative, or I should say the leftist narrative of the Donald Trump Access Hollywood tape. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, which is kind of hard to believe, but if you don't know what I'm talking about a tape that was released during the 2016 election campaign, where Donald Trump, 10 years prior to that, was speaking with Billy Bush, an Access Hollywood host, privately, not realizing that he was still mic'd up. And they were talking about just the culture, the Hollywood culture, being famous, and what it's like when you're famous, and how people will give you access to anything and everything when you have access to everything and anything. And of course, he used some choice words to describe that because Donald Trump just says what he says. And of course, that video went viral during their campaign, and people on the left accused Donald Trump of being a sexual predator and everything under the sun regarding that Access Hollywood tape. I remember when it first came out and I was like, wow, that was shocking, because of course you don't get to really hear the behind the scenes talk when somebody's famous or somebody is a public figure. Very rarely do you get to actually hear what they sound like when the cameras aren't on. So of course there was like an intrigue with listening to this like secret footage, and of course it was very, bombastic as far as the effects that it had on the internet and of course on TV. Everyone was talking about it. It was the biggest thing. When it first happened, I think a part of me was kind of like, okay, that definitely was crass the way that he said it, but what he said I understood. However, my leftist mind at the time wouldn't allow me to actually dissect the way that I'm able to dissect today as a reformed leftist. So at the time you start thinking critically, and then immediately the leftist side of your brain is like, stop what you're doing. No. And so, of course, I ran with the narrative of, oh my God, that's so disgusting. He's horrible. He's this, he's that. How can he say that? He's a disgusting human being. We all threw stones at him and couldn't believe that somebody would say that. That's so disgusting. Everything under the sun is pretty much what I co-signed, because I was a stupid cult member of the left at the time. And so I just kind of went along with it. Didn't really question it. They were outraged, so I was outraged, and we were outraged together. And that was pretty much the end of it. Fast forward to me being red-pilled and me rethinking a whole lot of stuff, including my ideology back then, my opinions back then, and just re-dissecting so much. I came across this video clip of Donald Trump when he was at the CNN town hall last week being interviewed by Caitlin Collins. And when I heard Donald Trump speak on this, it was like a light bulb went off of me, because I forgot about like that whole situation and my thoughts back then. And I was like, oh, you know what? What he just said makes so much sense, and I can't believe that my little leftist brain back then wouldn't allow me to go there. So take a look at this clip, and then let's talk about it.
You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women how you want. Do you stand by those comments?
I said if you're famous and rich or whatever I said, but I said if you're a star, you are, and I said women let you. I didn't say you grab, I said women let. You didn't use that word, but if you look, women let you. Now, they said, will you take that back? I said, look, for 1,000,000 years, this is the way it's been. I want to be honest. This is the way it's been. I can take it back if you'd like to, but if you're a famous person, if you're a star, and I'm not referring to myself, I'm saying people that are famous, people that are
you
stars,
were asked in the deposition,
people that are rich,
yourself to be a star,
people that are powerful,
yes.
They tend to do pretty well in a lot of different ways, okay? And you would like me to take that back? I can't take it back because it happens to be true. I said it's been true for 1 million years, approximately 1 million years, perhaps a little bit longer than that.
So you stand by those comments?
Well, I don't want to lie.
Mr. President, we have a lot of questions.
Here's what she wants
Mr.
me to say.
President, let's get to the
rich and
audience
famous
questions
person
tonight.
has no advantage over anyone else. Well, you do have an advantage. And I say unfortunately, but that's the way it is.
You said fortunately or unfortunately.
Well, fortunately
but Mr.
or
President, we have a lot of
unfortunately for
audience.
What did he say that was wrong? Please tell me. See, this is why nuance in conversations and context is so important. And that seems to be a part of conversations, especially nowadays, that kind of just gets pushed to the side because nuance creates an understanding, a full understanding of a conversation. But when you have a political agenda, nuance is like kryptonite. We don't want to hear nuance because nuance will bring clarity, and clarity will allow you to have a clear thinking mind. And that's not what we want you to have as the mainstream media. We do not want you to be critical thinkers. So please do not talk about nuance. And that's why this story was able to get the legs that it had at the time, because there was no nuance. There was no context. The mainstream media was not talking about context. They took his words literally and ran with it. Now here's the thing. What he said actually makes a whole lot of sense. Hear me out. Have we not heard of groupies? Is being a groupie not a thing? Because if it's not a thing, then why is there even a word called groupies? Now, what's a groupie? Well, there are many different, definitions, but my definition of a groupie is somebody, man or woman, because it could be either or, somebody who actively is engaged with trying to meet celebrities, be around celebrities, trying to gain VIP access, and pretty much throwing themselves at the person who has power and money. And they're willing to do anything, to say anything, to participate in anything that celebrity or that person in power wants them to do. Because in exchange, they gain access, whether it be VIP passes, whether it be money, whether it be child support, anything that they can get their hands on, they're going to get their hands on it because they are infatuated with the person, they are infatuated with fame, they are infatuated with the access that person has, and they want a piece of that pie. So whether it be a singer, an actor, a dancer, a politician, a TV talk show host, whatever it is, they want to be next to that person because that person has power. So sign me up. And that groupie is willing to do anything, and that includes sexual interactions. I know, it's shocking. And so what Donald Trump is talking about is those types of women who will meet you at the hotel room, find you backstage, and go into your dressing room. Women who are willing to be down for anything and everything that you want them to do. In exchange, because there's always an exchange here, you make them feel special because you are a celebrity. You are a person up here and you're with me. It's all about the mental gymnastics. And that is what Donald Trump was talking about. In context here, Billy Bush was asking him about what it's like being on the #1 NBC show, The Apprentice, and pretty much being a celebrity now and a star. And Donald Trump bluntly was telling him, listen, when you have a certain status, certain people will let you do anything. They will co-sign anything and everything. And keyword here is the word let. Let is such an important word that oftentimes in this conversation kind of gets pushed to the side. Again, nuance. See, when he says they let you do anything, including bleepity bleepy bleep, you know the rest, let you implies that the person is giving you consent. They are giving you access to whatever it is that you guys are engaging in that private setting. If I let you do something, I am consenting as an adult to whatever interaction we are having. So how can that constitute as RAPE if I'm letting you have access to me? I'm giving you permission to have access to me, but somehow that constitutes as RAPE. Like, I don't understand how the word let completely vanishes in this conversation. And back when I was a leftist, I'm shocked at myself that I didn't critically think and say, wait a minute, he didn't say I go into rooms and I just grab people or grab women and I force them to do things. He said they let you. I think it's key in this conversation because it brings context to what he was trying to say and to what he was talking about in that setting. Again, nuance. He's not talking about going to the coffee shop and grabbing a random woman by the you-know-what and doing what he wants to do with her. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about being a celebrity, meeting different people who want to be around him, who want his access, who want his money, who want a part of what he has, and are willing to get down. And you know what I mean? That's what he's talking about. And he is absolutely correct. He's correct. I mean, how many women do we hear about that come forward and say, oh, so-and-so celebrity is my baby's daddy. We met one day and we slept together and he's the father, right? I mean, we see it all the time. You think that woman slept with that celebrity because she liked to smile, or she liked the fact that there was access that she was going to potentially have by being with that celebrity? See, people are obsessed. They are obsessed with being next to or close to what they perceive as power. And that includes celebrities. That is what Donald Trump was talking about. So I don't understand why we're sitting here and we're just clueless about what he meant. What did he mean when he said that they let you? Oh my God. Like, you know exactly what he meant. You know exactly what he meant, Caitlin Collins, CNN, and everyone else on the left. You know what he meant. But because he said it, suddenly we get to twist the words, we get to twist the meaning, and we take out all context and nuance from the conversation, and we accuse him of grabbing random women by the you-know-what because he can. And that is not what he was talking about. I also want to touch on the fact that we wear different faces depending on where we are. And what do I mean by that? If you're working at a 9-to-5 job at the office, chances are the tone in your voice, the language that you use, the clothes that you wear, how you approach people, how you talk to people on the phone or to your coworkers is going to be completely different than when you're home letting your hair down, talking to your spouse, or to your girlfriend, or to your boyfriend, or to your best friend, or to your homie on the phone. Most likely, you're going to have a very different type of demeanor because you're not in a professional setting. And that matters in this context because when Donald Trump was having a conversation with Billy Bush, he thought that they were having a private conversation, just shooting the you-know-what, laughing, joking around, and people act as though, oh my God, I can't believe he said that in private, as if we don't all say stupid things or things in private that we would never repeat publicly. Sorry, but you just won't. I'm sure there are things that you say in private with your loved ones or with your bestie that you would never repeat at work or, God forbid, at church. Okay, I'm sorry. Nobody is perfect. So this idea that we're going to judge someone based on a private conversation 10 years prior to running for president about a conversation that had so much context that was taken out and still call that fair. No, it wasn't. It was BS. And at the time, I didn't see it because I was blind, but now I see it. It was BS. It was complete BS, and it was a smear campaign. That's what it was. And of course, what he said, he would never say on a public platform. It's not like he went out and grabbed the bullhorn and was like, everyone come here. I want you all to hear this. You too can grab women by the you-know-what. Like, we're acting as though he made a public proclamation. No, he was having a private conversation. There was a lot of context that was missed when it was re-aired for the masses that people purposefully missed because, again, it didn't fit their narrative of him being a predator. And so they ignored it. They ignored the fact that they too, when they were in private, probably say a whole lot of politically incorrect things that they would never want people to hear or for it to be on a hot mic. It just is what it is. Like, why are they pretending like that doesn't matter in this case? It does matter. So let's stop acting like we are living in some high castle and everyone else are just peasants, because we are just as dirty and filthy as the next person. Like the Bible says, before you try to point out the speck in someone else's eye, remove the plank in your own eye. So moral of the story is I am no longer in a coma. I have left the left and I'm so happy that I did. And I'm so happy that I can now see things from a much more clearer space mentally and without all of the noise, the leftist noise that was in my ear for so long that I bought into. Like it's sad that I was there, but I'm no longer there. Thank goodness. I think the whole Access Hollywood tape situation was completely blown out of proportion. It wasn't an accident. And the fact that the left is still trying to pull on the whole Access Hollywood narrative to me is foolish because I think more and more people are waking up, and people like myself who once believed that garbage no longer buy into that narrative. We just don't. But the left is going to do what they have to do to try and, diminish him and smear him and throw every accusation out at him because that's just what they do. Groupie? What's a groupie? I never heard of a groupie before. What, a man or a woman willing to sleep with a celebrity for access? When? Yeah. I'm not buying it. Please be a free thinker. Don't just take what is being fed to you on a leftist spoon. Don't do it. Do your own research, and for crying out loud, do what I didn't do. Critically think at the moment. Just critically think. And if you do that, you'll be surprised what you find. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a new video. I'm also available on TikTok and on Instagram under CurlyBoyChuck, and I'm also available on Rumble under CurlyBoyChuck. I will have a referral link in my description down below. Until next time, peace.